What's up, YouTube people? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are messing with the fuel injection. So this is more of a rx7 issue, or at least I feel it's an issue. So my cold starting, this ECU isn't hacked to the point where it's bypass. So this factory water temp sensor needs to hit a certain temp to take the card out of its cold start cycle. And mine doesn't flood, but it does run weird until it gets to about 130 degrees. So what I did was took the water temp sensor here, put in a pot of water, heated it up, use a digital temperature sensor, and figured out what's 180 degrees, what's 190 degrees, 200, how many ohms is it reading. So this little guy reads up in a couple hundred ohms. So like 225, 230 was boiling on this. So I went to electronics store, picked up a 500 ohm variable potentiometer, and then I found a pigtail for a fuel injector. I had to shave off the little nubby here because on this guy it's on the side, or it was on the side, and you tested it. So yeah, had this pigtail, made a little enclosure for it with some silicone, and it's still adjustable, and it'll plug right in, and I set it for operating temperature. So when I start the car, it's at operating temperature. It's not doing some weird thing where it wants to backfire and kind of boost cut, more like stumble. So yeah, got a variable potentiometer, meter out the sensor on different temperatures to figure out a range of what I need to work with. And instead of just buying one resistor, I bought a variable one. That way it's adjustable, and maybe I'll run better with it, thinking it's at like 200 compared to say 180. So that is what I made. It's not that hard. Like I said, pigtail. It's 2 wires. The resistor itself has, let's open this, has 3 prongs on it. So it's small, so let me try to get this in my hand without dropping it, which I did. But that made it easier to see. 3 prongs. So usually the outer one and the middle one, depending which way you want this thing to adjust from, is the 2 you pick. I folded the 3rd leg up out of the way and soldered the 2 wires on. Plenty of videos on how to solder and shit like that, but this is what I made. Not the prettiest thing. I think I can find another one of these caps that'll fit over this and just make a small window. But I want to encase it a little because temperature does screw with it a little bit. So I have this hooked up to my fluke meter, and then I took the heat gun to it, and then I have one of those Harbor Freight, where'd it go? Thermal sensing guns. Yes, these things are nice. They're cheap, especially if you're trying to figure out why your car is running weird sometimes. Point it at the exhaust header, whichever one's cold. Obviously it's not firing, so you may have a vacuum leak, dead spark, bad injector, whatever. But yeah, I used that, measured the outside temp of this, and compensated, which really didn't need. And there we go. So I'm going to go plug this in the car, and we'll see how it comes out. So my water temp goes in the back of the water neck right here. Here's my adjustable sensor plugged in, and let's see how it starts. So start it up. Yeah, it's cold, vacuum's high, temp's good. I guess I wasn't happy. O2 is not warmed up yet. As you can tell, it is still on the very lean side. Once again, 4-in-1 tack. I ordered Fahrenheit, but they sent Celsius, and they pretty much gave me my money back. Digital boost controller, MAF delete, air fuel. Wow, this thing is not happy. I should give it a little gas. So it is idling. The O2 sensor finally warmed up. Yeah, you can see the dancing light from lean to rich. I'm sure once the standalone the MAF delete catches up, it will idle better because that's getting its own air temp sensor, or air temp reading. So yeah, like I said, it's cold. It's kind of dark. I'm not going to drive it. I'll try to do that tomorrow. So once again, water temp sensor is the green one. Not sure what the white one's for. May have been for the cluster, but I don't have an rx7 cluster. It was a 500 ohm potentiometer. It's like $3. I got from Fry's Electronics. I don't know, Fry's are in another state. So Amazon, eBay, whatever, just Google it. This is an old concept idea that people have done over the years, putting resistors or variable, potentiometers to trick the ECU into other things. So I'm tricking it to think it's much warmer, so it won't be in a cold start loop and cause, the hesitation and stumbling like I mentioned. When I was driving it, it seemed pretty good. The HKS MAF delete has its own air temp sensor, and since it's 48 degrees out, I'm sure it's not too happy with that. But once it idled for a couple minutes, it held pretty strong. So I think it's a win. I'll know for sure tomorrow when I drive it. Other than that, yeah, that's about it. Hope you guys had a good Christmas, good New Year's. I didn't get the standalone or the turbo, or I wouldn't be making, potentiometer to trick the water temp. What's his name? I think it was Steve. He noticed on Craigslist that I posted the bug for sale. Yeah, I'm selling it. It's on there. Why, you might ask? I feel it's pretty much done. Other than like adding like a red 9, engineering front subframe, double A-arm rack pinion setup to it. Theirs, you don't have to cut the steering shaft, it bolts right up, unlike the Madone and Eyeball Engineering, I think it's called. And it's like $1.50 cheaper. They want like 1,600 euros, so it comes out to like $1,700 plus shipping. I think the guy said it was like 2 G's, but that's 2 G's I don't have right now. Putting AC in the car would be kind of cool. There's a company in Vegas, I forget his name. The condensers mount side by side next to the transmission, and there's a box that blends in fairly decent that goes under, I guess you call it the dash. But where he puts the AC pump is where my water pump is. So I would need the lines extended, but once again, that's like another 1,600 or 1,800 bucks that I don't have this year right now. Or to go Subaru transmission, even though I just fixed this one. It's 2 G's for the ring and pinion flip kit. I don't know if I need his cradle or make my own cradle, which is 500 bucks. And then the adapter plate to go Subaru to rx7 is 1,000 bucks because I can't reuse the Kennedy one I got. So you figure there's $3.5 grand, not including like the grand to pick up the transmission and shit. So that's like $4 grand plus any switch over IRS. I know I'm rambling, but yeah, that's another $4 to $6 grand project, because I'd up the torsion bars or maybe switch over to coilover kit in the rear, and those aren't cheap. So yeah, so I got like a early 70s Rabbit, old school Rabbit, the box, whatever you want to call it, but it has I think they call it a club kit They're like 5-inch wide fender flares and a whole front lower kit that's like almost an inch off the ground. I'll try to insert a picture of what it would look like. Right now the car is just a shell. No motor, trans interior. Some guy used to road course it, but he stripped it out, cut out the cage, so hence money. Money's needed to build it. I don't want to nickel and dime that one. So that, and how many cars am I going to drive to the car show? It's like, I got the Bug, the wife has the Cabby with the VR6, and who's going to drive, you know, the wide body Rabbit, you know? So I would rather just take, you know, the 2 cars I got and not try to figure out how to bring a third. You know, I'm not TJ Hunt or any of those other guys that got like a crew of people to bring vehicles. But yeah, you know, if it doesn't sell, I'm just going to keep rocking it, you know, and maybe I will come up with some funding to do the front end over to the coilovers and A-arms. So I'm going to just rock it, take it to the track, hopefully not get popped for this, you know, noise violation BS, you know, exhaust law. My car is pre-smog, so I don't have to worry about that. I just got to worry about the decibel law. So I believe it's under 95, so I should be okay. Maybe it's time to put a bigger muffler on there, or not. But thanks for watching, subscribing. Take care. Hope you guys had, you know, good Christmas break, New Year's, Kwanzaa, whatever the hell. And yeah, have fun with your car. Don't be afraid to get exhaust. They didn't ban, you know, putting exhaust on your car. But if you go to the meets and stuff like that, you may want to, you know, put some sort of silencer on it. That way they won't bust you and then cruise around normally. But take care, guys.